Do we even know sort of like how long it takes for these to get from Iran, whether it's through Sudan or anything like that, or if this is something that's going to be an ongoing sort of threat?
Well, technicalities of the transfer of technology probably are things that are ongoing and ever-changing, and that's something that would have predated any kind of political closeness or rift. And at least in my view, there may be a lot of different angles of vision in the Middle East when it comes to Israel, and they might have sort of differing origins of their like or dislike of Israel. But the one thing they seem to be unified in is they don't seem to mind who has Israel put in a bad spot. And so Hamas, in a way, has this unusual foot in both sides, with non-Arab Persian Empire on one side and their backers in the Muslim Brotherhood out of Egypt. They actually are a confluence of these two large trends that are hostile to Israel no matter what their animosity may be toward one another.
Hey, Buck, Anthony's question for Stephen is an interesting one. Essentially, it's this, right? How quickly could Iran restock Gaza with these Fajr 5 missiles? Which leads to my question for you. These missiles, which you said the range is up to 50 miles, in other words, they could reach Tel Aviv, were a somewhat recent development for this conflict, for this Palestinian-Israeli conflict. How much do you think this war had to do with these missiles? Was this war about weeding out Hamas's ability should another war, a different war take place, say a war between Iran and Israel?
Well, of course, people are coming up with a lot of theories about what they think it is. The Israelis might have had some information. You would think they had plenty of information about just what had been stockpiled in Gaza, what they were up against. They clearly knew where to find Hamas's military commander.
Knocked 90% out within like the first couple hours, right?
This was a lightning strike. This was
right.
a very quick move to, I think, really pull a lot of capability out of Hamas's hands. The question, though, becomes, now people saying, how involved will Egypt get? I know we're bringing in another outside party here, but Egypt's role in this could be indifference, meaning that if Iran decides that it wants to try to get more of these kinds of munitions, perhaps even more advanced things, we don't necessarily know, if Egypt is not willing to police the Sinai and is not willing to make sure that it holds its side of the border with Gaza, then you could see a rearming pretty quickly here. And that's, I think, where you're going to see, where does Egypt really lie on this? So we're going to find out, I think, in the months ahead.